I will be covering a lot of ground in this lesson. The intention of this lesson is to give you a solid foundation in the CMS world. And I will be continuing from where we left off previously. On the screen, you can see a list of all the topics that we will cover in this lesson. You will see Drupal's place in the CMS world. Then I will talk about other popular CMSs and also do a quick comparison. I will show some of the top Drupal implementations from several different industry categories and finish with a discussion on when you should consider alternatives to Drupal. The first step is for you to understand Drupal's place in the CMS universe. There are literally hundreds of CMSs in the world, and subsequently, there are many ways in which to classify them. How will you classify a CMS? There are several parameters that you can use. Functionality or the feature set is one important parameter. Then what is the technology used? Is it based on Microsoft technologies or Java technologies or LAMP stack or others? Oftentimes, you will be forced to use the technology that your organization is committed to in the long term. Then, you might also classify CMSs based on the usage in specific domains. For example, online newspapers are primary users for specialized CMSs. Similarly, specialized CMSs have also recently evolved for serving mobile media content and also for e-commerce websites. A significant parameter is the costing model. Open source free CMSs are extremely popular and constitute a large chunk of the internet websites today, the big three being WordPress, Drupal, and Joomla. There are several other license-based and subscription-based proprietary CMSs also. Some popular ones include Alfresco, Ectron, Documentum, SharePoint, and others. On your screen now, I have a diagram here that will help you locate a Drupal in the CMS world. You can see Drupal here in the yellow box, and I will explain why it is here. In the first level, I have classified according to functionality. So you can see enterprise CMS, web CMS, document management systems, and there are several others which are highly specialized. This web CMS is of interest to us, and it is further divided as blogging platforms, which includes the widely popular WordPress, then CMS frameworks, which includes Drupal, Joomla, SharePoint, and then e-commerce CMS, which includes the popular Magento, and also learning management systems, which includes Moodle and Blackboard. This, of course, is a highly simplified view because I have only expanded on the web CMS part. But this diagram will give you a quick and accurate picture of the CMS world, and more importantly, where Drupal is located. Now, before I go to the next slide, let me highlight that WordPress, Drupal, and Joomla are the big three CMSs of the world today, purely by the number of installations and popularity. WordPress, Drupal, and Joomla are the monsters of the CMS world. Web CMS, to be more specific. All three of them are both free and open source. I will give a quick comparison without quoting market share numbers, as numbers will tend to change over time. Before we go any further, please understand that there is no good and bad CMS classification here. Each of these three big CMSs has their own utility and are best suited to do what they have been designed for. WordPress by far is the highest in usage popularity, and that is because it is essentially a blogging platform. It is the simplest and easiest to use with a minimal learning curve. It is best suited for blogs and simple corporate websites. Drupal is exactly on the other side of the spectrum as compared to WordPress. Drupal is actually a CMS platform. It exposes an API, that is an application programming interface. It is a powerful and extensible framework which can be used to create web applications. Drupal offers high scalability, superlative SEO, high security options, and a high transactional platform. However, it has a steep learning curve, and it really is a one-size-fits-all solution. Joomla falls in neatly between the two extremes. It offers several advantages over WordPress but has a medium learning curve. If you are looking for an advanced website, you will always be better off going with Drupal. Now, let us see some massive sites built with Drupal. Even though WordPress powers the highest number of websites in the world, the huge majority of them are personal blogs. Drupal, however, powers many of the top websites of the world in terms of transactions, visitors, page views, security, extensibility, and marketing requirements. Let's first start with the government and public sector sites which are powered by Drupal. As I am showing you the examples, keep an eye on the browser's address bar. I have a tool installed that will show me different frameworks used to build the site, and you should keep an eye on this Drupal icon for all of these examples. Whitehouse.gov is run on Drupal. The Government of Australia website, the Government of France official website, City of London site, State of New York site, United States Department of Commerce website, all of these sites are running on the power of Drupal. You can be assured that they would have picked Drupal for its flexibility, scalability, and security aspects. There are a lot more public sector examples, but I have picked only the biggest names. Now, let's look at some of the high-tech companies using Drupal. Pinterest for business, Zynga.com, gaming major, uses Drupal. OpenSource.com, a site from Red Hat, is running on Drupal. Tesla Motors and Cisco both use Drupal also. And now for some massive examples from the media and entertainment industry, BBC's store is run on Drupal, and so is the Grammy Awards website. Weather.com also runs on Drupal. Major artists like Bruno Mars, Lady Gaga have their official websites built with Drupal. In the interest of time, I will not open sites now. In the sports world, Drupal powers the sites for the official 2016 Summer Olympics, Dallas Cowboys, NBA, Patriots, the PGA, and several others. In the education world, again, Drupal is a hot favorite, powering official sites for the Oxford University, Harvard, Stanford University, and many, many others. Of special mention is that it also powers the website for the world's largest open university, India's IGNOU, with 3.5 million enrolled students, which you see on the screen now. Let me return back to the presentation. So far, we have seen fantastic and famous websites of large entities from all over the globe. This does not mean that you can't use Drupal for small websites. You perfectly well can do so. If you ask any of Drupal's staunch supporters, they will tell you that Drupal can be used to build anything that you want on the internet. And this is true. There is literally no limit to what you can achieve with Drupal. This, however, does not mean that you have to use Drupal in every given situation. There are situations when Drupal is probably not an ideal choice, or rather you should consider other options also with Drupal. Let us look at two of those situations. First situation is when you are building a simple static website where the content is not going to change much. Drupal still can do this very well, but it will be an overkill. This is because of the infrastructure and maintenance involved with the Drupal, with the database, programming language, upgrades, and so on. You might be better off using some static site generator tools, and there are many fantastic ones available even freely on the internet. The second situation is when you want to create a highly specialized website with a single goal. For example, if you just want to build a great blogging site, then you should consider WordPress. If you want to sell things on the internet with minimal fuss, then use one of the several options like OpenCart. If you want a powerful, full-fledged learning management system for online courses, consider Moodle. Just to clarify, Drupal can give you all of this by itself, and I will create some of these as exercises later in the course. But the effort of creation and maintenance might be higher than just using one of these specialized tools that I have mentioned in this slide. It also largely depends on the expertise level with the Drupal. A Drupal expert might be able to create one of these effortlessly, but since you are taking this course, I will assume you are new to Drupal, and so you should consider other specialized systems also when the need arises. And with that, I will conclude this lesson. In the last two lessons, you have gained a broad perspective of Drupal. You have seen why and how CMSs came into existence. I have also shown you Drupal's place in the universe and a brief comparison with the big three in the CMS world, WordPress, Drupal, and Joomla. You also have a better idea about Drupal's pros and cons. We saw a Drupal showcase with many famous sites covering many industries. And last but not least, we discussed the situations when it is not ideal to use Drupal. And so with that, we will move on to the next section. We will get hands-on with Drupal, learn to install Drupal, and soon we will also start the first of our several Drupal projects also. See you in the next section.